This is one of my this is something I've noticed this week that I'm so glad we have the podcast, because the whining by some of the sports media this week has been insane. So Golden State wins the title, right? And you have Steph Curry saying, well, all those people who said we were never going to win another one, and Klay Thompson has this thing about this Jaren Jackson tweet from Memphis. He's like, he says he tweeted strength in numbers after a regular season game, and Clay brought it up in a press conference or whatever. And then Draymond Green's like, I said, don't let us win the fucking championship because blah, 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 blah. So they're talking a bunch of junk because everybody said they were done. Most people, like from what I saw, the only people who were like on them were like Stephen A. Smith from ESPN. He picked him to win the title before the season, and Dan Patrick. Everybody else at one point or another said, the Warriors are done. That's it. It's over. So, you buried these guys. And then on Dan Patrick's show, he's whining that, oh, wow, this guy, it's so unlikable. Like, why do you have to, act like you've been there before? And why do you have to talk a bunch of crap after you won the title? And why are you worried about what other people say and blah, blah, blah? And it's like, you don't get to say,
if you win the title, talk all the crap you want. Tom Brady got drunk on a boat and was tossing the Super Bowl trophy from one boat to another after the Tampa Bay Bucks won the championship. Like, right. That's the time to kind of let it all hang out. Don't do that during the season.
Right. Yeah. So I just had an issue with this. Like, the people complaining about the Warriors, and this has been going on for 5 years. Okay. So first of all, most of us, if we won the title, we'd be doing the same stuff. Okay. So it's really unfair for you to sit there and go, I don't like the way that it's like, Jesus Christ. We don't like the way the Warriors lose. We don't like the way they win. We don't like when they acquire Kevin Durant. We don't like when Kevin Durant leaves. What the fuck do you want? Enough is enough, guys. Like, quit whining. Like, they won the title.
Yeah, I agree. Like hearing, like for instance, Nick Wright, he's always finding ways to take shots at the Warriors, literally all the time for the past 7-8 years. He's always finding ways, and it's just like, what do you want, dude? They won. They're really good. Steph Curry's really good. They're really well coached. They've done a good job building their, like, what do you? I don't understand. You're like, oh, well, they got Kevin Durant. A bunch of other teams were trying to get Kevin Durant too. Like. And by the way, the same people didn't want to give him any credit for going 73-9 because they lost the championship. Well, they lost; they're not getting any credit. So, what do you want them to not try to win? Like, I don't understand. I understand if, like when the Spurs were winning championships, you and I both were kind of sick of it because we just didn't like watching them play and whatever. But
right.
I think we sort of understood in the back of our minds that was a little ridiculous. They're just really good and they're winning because they're really good and they play really well and they make the right plays in these big games and stuff.
We never criticized the way the Spurs operated. We were
just ignored. We wanted them to stop winning, but they were winning because they were good.
Right. Yeah, we never criticized the Spurs because of how good they were. It was just. Yes, it's the same thing, and nobody can beat them. So the product just, and there was a while there, in the middle of the, 2000 to 2010 era where the product just wasn't as good.
Yeah.
So that was part of the issue. The Warriors are fun, exciting. They're great. They do it over and over and over again. For the most part, other than Draymond, they really don't talk a lot of junk for the most part. And it's just, it's never ended. They win, and this is the thing, the media has been ridiculous about this the whole time. They win the first title. Well, Kyrie and Kevin Love, they didn't play, so you suck. So you wouldn't have won. And then they get there the next year, you won 73 games, and the game was tied with like a minute to go in Game 7.
2 minutes to go. Yeah, it was.
And everybody went nuts. It's like, oh well, and this is it goes into the Steph Curry's not that good argument again, which I don't understand how you can make that argument. Well, he wasn't good in the finals. No, he's been awesome in every finals. You're just an idiot. Okay? You don't like the fact that they lost in the last 2 or 3 minutes of Game 7 in 2016. That's where your problem is. And then they get Kevin Durant and everybody complain, oh, it's not fair, blah, blah, blah. It's not fair, blah, blah, blah. And then as soon as he leaves, well, they needed him though. Yeah, they had to have Kevin Durant. Like otherwise, it was, they can't win without Kevin Durant. So then it's like, oh, everybody, and then everyone's burying them for nonsensical stuff. Like I watched a replay of Nick Wright's take about after they traded for Andrew Wiggins. And he's like, Andrew Wiggins is not a good basketball player. And it's like, what are you talking about? Like, at no point was he not a good basketball player.
Yeah,
he just wasn't a superstar. What are you talking? Like, it's just why? Like, these takes make no sense.
Well, and here's the other thing. We gave the Bucks credit last year when they won.
Right.
We've criticized some different things, but, I mean, Giannis was awesome. Like,
right.
You won the championship. Like, the Toronto Raptors, could I say that they would have lost if the Warriors had Kevin Durant? Probably. But, I mean, they played well. They won. They got down 2-0 to Milwaukee, and then they won 4 straight. And they were up 3-1 on the Warriors in the finals.
Yeah, it's true. Milwaukee gets all the credit in the world now. They get all. They apparently their approval has been stamped. They won one title barely with a whole bunch of injuries to other teams, and Milwaukee's totally fine. But Golden State, it doesn't count. Sorry, doesn't count. Yeah, I don't care that you've won 4 titles. It's not good enough. It's just, it's like, and by the way, and a lot of these things that Golden State were saying, they were at the parade when they're all drinking.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about? So I don't understand the criticism of the Warriors.
The other thing is, we've started to cover the parades as if it's like a news event.
Right.
We didn't used to do this. Like, it would be on like your local sports network, and you would see it, and they're there celebrating with their fans. Okay. Now I understand that it's televised, but it's not really for you. It's for the team and their fans.
Right. It's a pep rally.
Exactly.
It's a pep rally.
What are you expecting to do at a pep rally? Okay. They just won the championship. Like, just come on. And then it's so funny because they literally were treating this like a news story. Like this was a topic on Undisputed and a topic on these different shows, and they're critiquing the different things people said. They're parsing through. Well, what does this mean? Meanwhile, Skip Bayless was unhappy with the way they were celebrating because he thinks the championship has an asterisk on it because the Celtics were a fraudulent opponent. Because they kept turning the ball over and beat themselves, so it doesn't count.
There's literally nothing they can do, and So by the way, this is my overall point here. Sports media, shut the hell up. You don't get to rip this team for 5 years and then complain when they're happy and want to stick it to you that they won the title. I'm sorry.
They won a championship.
Too fucking bad.
Is that getting lost in the whole thing? They won the championship. Isn't that what you're supposed to do? They got the trophy. Like, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to go win the trophy. Like, we're not even Warriors fans, by the way. I mean, I like watching them play, but, like, they won 4 titles in 8 years. Like,
right.
It's fucking amazing. Like,
And by the way, this wouldn't change. If I was a Heat fan and they just won the title and Jimmy Butler wants to talk about all the people that have disrespected him, go right ahead. Go right ahead. I'm sorry if you don't like it. Oh, they're unlikable now. You were complaining about them the whole time. So you don't get to come back now and say, oh, I want you to be likable when you were hating on them the whole time. So anyway, whatever. We could go on all day about that, but it's complete BS. Anyway, The Warriors are the champs. They deserved it. They played better than everybody else. There's no criticism to be had. At no time was I sitting there going, the Warriors are done. My only criticism was of the media acting like the Warriors are going to be what they were. No, they're not going to be the greatest team of all time again. But that doesn't mean they can't win.
Yeah.
Anyway, so to